The Law of Success in 16 Lessons by Napoleon Hill in 1928. A personal statement by the author. Some 30 years ago, a young clergyman by the name of Gonzales announced in the newspaper of Chicago that he would preach a sermon the following Sunday morning entitled, "What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million." The announcement caught the eye of Philip, Dr. Armour, the wealthy packing house king, who decided to hear the sermon. In his sermon, Dr. Gonzales pictured a great school of technology where young men and young women would be taught how to succeed in life by developing the ability to think in practical rather than in theoretical terms. Where they would be taught to learn by doing. If I had $1 million, said the young preacher, I would start such a school. After the sermon was over, Mr. Armour walked down the aisle to the pulpit, introduced himself, and said, "Young man, I believe you would do all you said you would. And if you will come down to my office tomorrow morning, I will give you the $1 million you need. There is always plenty of capital for those who can create practical plan for using it." That was the beginning of Armour Institute of Technology, one of the very practical school of country. The school was born in the imagination of a young man who never would have been heard of outside of the community in which he preached had it not been for the imagination plus the capital of Philip Dr. Armour. Every great railroad and every outstanding financial institution, every mammoth business enterprise, and every great invention began in the imagination of some one person. F.W. Woolworth created the 5 and 10 cent store plan in his imagination before it became a reality and made him a multi-millionaire. Thomas Edison created the talk machine and the moving picture machine and the incandescent electric light bulb and score of other useful inventions in his own imagination before they become a reality. During the Chicago fire, score of merchants whose store went up in smoke stood near the smoldering embers of their former places of business, grieving over their loss. Many of them decided to go away into other cities and start over again. In the group was Marshall Field, who said in his own imagination the word greatest retail store standing on the self-same spot where his former store had stood, which was then but a ruined mass of smoking timber. That store became a reality. Fortunate is the young man and young woman who learns easily in life to use imagination, and doubly so in this age of greater opportunity. Imagination is a faculty of the mind which can be cultivated, developed, extended, and broadened by us. If this were not true, this course on the 15 law of success never would have been created, because it was first conceived in the author imagination from the mere seed of an idea, which was sown by a chance remark of the late Andrew Carnegie. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you may be following as an occupation, there is room for you to make yourself more useful and in that manner more productive by developing and using your imagination. Success in this world is always a matter of individual effort, yet, you will only be deceiving yourself if you believe that you can succeed without the cooperation of other people. Success is a matter of individual effort only to the extent that each person must decide in his or her own mind what is wanted. This involves the use of imagination. From this point on, achieving success is a matter of skillful and tactful inducing others to cooperate. Before you can secure cooperation from others, before you have the risk to ask for or expect cooperation from other people, you must first show a willingness to cooperate with them. For this reason, the eighth lesson of this course, the habit of doing more than paid for, is one which should have your serious and thoughtful attention. The law upon which its lesson is based would of itself practically insecure success to all who practice it in all they do. In the back page of this introduction, you will observe a personal analysis chart in which 10 will know men have been analyzed for your study and cooperation. Observe this chart carefully and note the danger point, which means failure to those who do not observe this signal. Of the 10 men analyzed, 8 are known to be successful, while 2 may be considered failure. Study carefully the reason why these 2 men failed. Then study yourself in the 2 columns, which have been left blank for that purpose. Give yourself a rating on each of the 15 laws of success. At the beginning of this course, at the end of the course, rate yourself again and observe the improvement you have made. The purpose of the Law of Success course is to enable you to find out how you may become more capable in your chosen field of work. To this end, you will be analyzed and all of your quality classified so you may organize them and make the best possible use of them. You may not like the work in which you are now engaged. There are 2 ways of getting out of that work. One way is to take but little interest in what you are doing, aiming merely to do enough with which to get by. Very soon you will find a way out because the demand for your services will change. The other and better way is by making yourself so useful and efficient in which you are now doing that you will attract the favorable attention of those who have the power to promote you into a more responsible work that is more to your liking. It is your privilege to take your choice as to which way you will proceed. Again, you are reminded of the importance of lesson 9 of this course, through the aid of which you may avail yourself of this better way of promoting yourself. Thousands of people walk over the great columned copper mine without discovering it. Just one lone man used his imagination, dig down into the earth a few feet, investigated and discovered the richest copper deposit on earth. You or every other person walk at one time or another over your columned mine. Discovering is a matter of investigation and use of imagination. This course on the 15th law of success may lead the way to your columned, and you may be surprised when you discover that you were standing right over this rich mine in the work in which you are now engaged. In this lecture on acres of diamond, Russell Conwell tells us that we will need not seek opportunity in the distance, that we may find it right where we stand. This is a truth well worth remembering. Napoleon Hill, author of Law of Success.